Welcome everybody to the Family DIY channel. Have you ever come home to find your refrigerator just not working? Well, the first thing you need to do is get a beer from your wife. With any home project, you need some beer. Cheers. But actually, surprisingly, that relates. So when I came home tonight, I found out that everything in my freezer was starting to defrost. Refrigerator was just not cooling off at all. So to figure out what was going on, I actually used my Inkbird temperature controller, which I use for my home brewing. Check this video right here. You can watch how to use one of these. It's actually a temperature gauge, so you can monitor the temperature, see what the problem is. Then, if you come out to my garage, I'll show you what I'm using to actually keep all my items still frozen. I'm using my fermentation chamber area and my keezer. Well, back to the project at hand. So before you go and call the technician, that's just going to cost you all this money just for them to come out and take a look at it to possibly find there's actually nothing really wrong with it. Let me show you a little tip that I've discovered that might actually make your refrigerator working without any help needed. So stick around. So going back to the beer relation to this whole project, this is a great tip to get beer making into your home. So when the freezer died, I turned my keezer into a refrigerator using the Inkbird temperature controller. So now this is my refrigerator with all my eggs, milk, and everything. And then in my other one right here, I turned it into my freezer. So all my items are safe and secure until I fix the refrigerator. And originally, I had no intention of mentioning that at all until my wife goes, "Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you brew beer. So we have all this great way to keep everything refrigerated." So, little tip right there. So our prediction of why the refrigerator is not cooling is because the back is just incredibly dirty. The insides, the coils and everything might be covered in a lot of dust. Very similar to when you're using your computer and it might be filled with dust. It just doesn't work right. So we're going to get behind the refrigerator, see what it looks like, and if it's covered in dust, try and clear it out, and hopefully that fixes the problem. All right, so now that we have it out, we're going to scoot back here. Good thing I don't drink too much beer, otherwise I wouldn't fit. And then before you do anything at all, make sure you unplug the refrigerator because you're going to be opening up the back and you do not want to get electrocuted. So make sure you unplug that first. Now we're going to come down to the bottom where there's a panel and take all the screws off to see what we're looking at. All right, so we have an LG fridge. So right down here we found the back panel, which has just a couple of screws in the bottom. So don't forget, make sure it's unplugged. But then I'm going to go and use my trusty tools and take the back off and see what we have. Okay, I'm going to be leaving this panel on because I do not feel like disconnecting the water. I'm just going to slip it around here. And let's take a look here. So if you can see right here, we got the different coils and everything down here. It is just a complete pile of dust. So we're going to go ahead and clear it off. So we're going to be using the N-Dust for electronics. Well, there's power to that, so why not? It's a multi-purpose duster. So let's start dusting away. Holy moly. All right. If you can see on there, I mean, that's a massive improvement just by a little bit of a dust can spraying around. Now we're going to use our RV dust buster just to kind of clean up around so the wife doesn't get mad at you for all the dust that lands on the floor. All right, so we got everything dusted off. We got the blades, we got the coils here. So we're going to go ahead and plug that back in and let's pray. All right, now just before we put it back on, plug it in, let's put the panels back on for safety. All right, so now we have the refrigerator back against the wall. All the dust has been removed. We got it plugged in. So now, just to make sure that we're actually getting the right temperature that we're asking for in the front display, I'm going to plug in the Inkbird using the temperature probe to monitor the temperature inside the refrigerator and the freezer. So hopefully this all works out. So now we have the Inkbird plugged in. The top number up here shows it's 73, which is the outside air temperature. I'm going to go ahead and stick the probe into the freezer, which is currently sopping wet. I already feel really good cold air coming from inside here, so I'm pretty confident this worked out, but we're going to use a temperature gauge just to verify this all worked correctly. So we're just going to leave it in there. I'm going to dangle it so it's not touching the side of the walls to make sure we get the actual air temperature and not the sidewall temperature. So let's give it a few minutes and see how it does. Looks like it's working really well. As you can see, the temperature just keeps dropping, so it looks like this is a success. All right, seems like that took care of the problem. So if you found this video to be useful, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and give us a nice thumbs up, and cheers. To show my love and support on the wife that just realized that beer making is the best thing for your home, she has a little joke for you. So come on in, Mishi.
What's that? Is your refrigerator running? Let me see. Actually, it's not running. Oh, yeah. I guess I don't need to catch it then. Wah, wah.
And that is why we have beer.